Welcome to Around the Track, the most exciting 15 minutes in wealth management by Dynasty Financial Partners and hosted by CEO Shirl Penney.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Around the Track, the most exciting 15 minutes in wealth management. I'm your host, founder and CEO of Dynasty Financial Partners, Shirl Penney. I'm super excited about today's show because I'm joined by Aaron Marks, who's one of the founders of Amplius Wealth Advisors in Blue Bell, Pennsylvania, who went independent from Merrill Lynch with over $1 billion back in February of 2021. Aaron, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, look, you've seen the show before. I'm gonna ask you 8 rapid fire questions. The only rule we have is we're gonna make our way around the virtual track together in less than 15 minutes. And in racing and in a lot of things, how you break from the gate really matters. So I'm going to give you a nice, easy one to get going with. So tell the audience about yourself and Amplius.
So Aaron Marks, founding partner of Amplius Wealth Advisors. On the personal side, 2 kids, Ethan and Molly, 9 and 7. My wife and I are running around crazy with kids as you'd expect us to be. Yeah. So all great things. On the business side of things, 12-person team at Amplius, up from 8 when we launched, 1 retired, so 7 to now 12. We're growing rapidly, and it's an exciting time for us.
Yeah, and you have grown rapidly, and we're super proud at Dynasty to be able to support you and the team. Look, you have your own business now. Early congratulations. You're coming up on 3 years. What has you so excited to fly out of bed in the morning and get into the office these days?
So I've always been excited about the prospective client side of prospecting, finding new business, things like that. And in the wirehouse world, you can only do it in so many ways. So now I can pick up the phone and call somebody. I can find some new AI tool to help me prospect on LinkedIn. I can hire somebody to do business development. I can do all these different things. So my mind's always racing to what new angle do we have that we can find new people to offer our services to. So that is most exciting for me and a lot of what my day is spent doing.
Definitely, it's great to have more flexibility. I know we've also talked about sometimes when you can do anything, right, it can be challenging to make sure that you remain focused on the key objectives within the business. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that, look, you're a strategy person. I know that you love thinking about business strategy, brand strategy, all things strategy. One of the things I enjoy when we have a chance to speak is you study the industry. Mm-hmm. So if you look out, let's pick a number, 3, 4, 5 years, what do you think is a great opportunity, whether it's for you or for independent advisors to be focused on within the industry over the next couple of years?
So I think it's 2 sides. I think the wirehouse advisor that is hamstrung by the technology they have, the services they can offer, that is a huge opportunity for us. So when I reach out to somebody and they say, I'm with Merrill, Morgan, Wells, UBS, what have you, great. What sort of tax planning do they do? What about estate? What about custom structured note building? I know they can't do those things to the degree that we can. So I think it's a massive opportunity to be a value add for people who need these added services, and they're just not getting it from their current advisor. So I think that wirehouse is ripe for picking clients from. And then people that don't have a formal advisor yet and have worked in the corporate world for 10, 20, 30 years, and their 401ks are with Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard. They either don't have advice or they have advice from a call center or a robo-advisor, and it's not sophisticated enough for what they need, or it's an advisor that is assigned to 500 different clients. They can't spend time with all those clients or provide the level and depth that we can. So I think it's, again, the wirehouse advisors and the clients with $1 million, 2, 3, 4, 5 that either have no advisor whatsoever or just one that is not to the optimal level that they should be.
Yeah, and I agree, obviously, the tremendous growth opportunity in the independent space. And oftentimes, it fascinates me to what you were just saying, Aaron. The press talks a lot about the breakaway advisor movement, but they don't talk as much about the breakaway client movement, right? And if you look at, Schwab, Pershing, Fidelity, the large custodians in our space, the vast majority of their net new asset flows, as you know, comes from clients choosing to work with an independent advisor, for all the reasons that you just articulated. Let me reverse that last question on you. Thinking out over the next 3, 4, 5 years, what are you most concerned about in the space?
So not so much concerned, but when I was in the wirehouse, world, and I like to cold call. That's my thing. I'd pick up the phone and I'd call somebody and they'd say, I'm with an RIA. I didn't really know what it was, but I was always sort of stopped dead in my tracks. I'd be like, all right, well, like they're all set. They've got it covered. So now when I'm in this world, when I hear somebody say I'm with an independent fiduciary RIA, I still hesitate a bit because I know that they are in better hands than they would be at a wirehouse or a Fidelity Schwab retail kind of advisor. So the more people that make this transition into independent world, the more competition I have. So I think it's great for the business. It's great for consumers. More competition, we're up for it. I don't think it's going to be a problem. But when I run into other similar firms like ours, that just more competition, but it makes it exciting.
Yeah, and that's as you know, it's a big part of our strategy. Also at Dynasty, the good news is you're right. There's more and more independent advisors. The challenge for the end consumer, the investor, is to pick between them, right? So at Dynasty, we hope over time to be kind of that that Intel sticker or the good housekeeper seal of approval for look for an independent advisor, look for one that's powered by Dynasty. But let's stick on that theme in terms of the movement towards independence. I'm sure there'll be some people that are watching our conversation who are contemplating making the move to independence. Not that you necessarily want to encourage more competition to your previous comment, but what would you say to yourself if you were still sitting back, right, in a wirehouse environment? What would you say to that advisor that's thinking about making a move to independence?
So you get one shot at your career. And think about my early days and a lot of people's early days in the wirehouse world. You were hustling, you were going to breakfast with prospects and drinks, and you were talking to other advisors, and there was this real social energy to finding new business. And I always remember there was a lot of corner office advisors that it wouldn't get in early, they wouldn't stay late, and they wouldn't talk to many people, and they were just cruising because life was easy. They were making a good amount of money. They had a book of business, but they just started resting on their laurels. And I don't know, you get beat down a little bit, or it was a defeatist attitude. So I'd say, look, you've got one shot of making a name for yourself, for your clients, for your family, and your community. And if you want to do it right, take the bull by the horns and jump. And yes, you've got to do your due diligence, but at a point you've got to make that decision. So I think for people that had that fire to grow something and build something, you have that opportunity still, and you just have to take advantage and do it.
Yeah, and it seems to me, I can't remember the last time, and we've helped now hundreds of advisors move to independence. I don't remember the last time someone didn't say to us, ultimately, I should have done it sooner. So I appreciate that. Let's go back now and talk a little more about Amplius. I know, and I love spending time talking, to your partner Matt and others. You guys are always, you love your clients, and you're always thinking about how can we make the client experience better? How can we, create a better environment for our team members here? Because happy team members end up servicing your clients better. So as you're thinking about evolving the offering at Amplius, what are some of the things that you're considering doing?
A lot of times, what I mentioned already, things that you couldn't do before. So when clients say to me, hey, can you help with my taxes? Yeah, you know what, now we can. We've got this tool. I can model your tax projections for this year, and we weren't able to offer that before. How about on the estate side? How about on the health insurance side? When it deals with money, I want to be able to say, I can do it. I can't file your taxes because I'm not the CPA. I can't do right, sign the will and draw it up because I'm not an attorney. But everything in between, I want to be able to offer. So those are some of the areas we want to continue to add to.
Got it. Okay. I'm going to ask you to do, and I've asked this question with a handful of guests in the past, a little bit of inter-perspective. When you're not in the room, what do you hope that your partners at Amplius and your clients say about you?
I think and want them to think that we are thinking about them when they're not thinking about them. So, hey client, you can live your life, and I'm going to stay up at night thinking about you. And how do we optimally get you to retire and fund your child's education, and that we really put ourselves in their shoes, and that's what everybody says, but really we hold it to heart. And I envision my clients as my little eggs, and I'm the mother bird, and I've got to protect them, and I've got to make it safe and warm. And I think clients feel that and appreciate it, and I hope that's what they think.
Safe and warm. That sounds like a good feeling. All right, look, we're approaching the finish line, and the last question I've asked all the guests on the show is, what is your big Triple Crown? And what I mean by that, as we actually head into the Triple Crown season, it's virtually impossible to win the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, the Belmont. It's one of those goals. If you're an owner, you're a trainer, you're a jockey, you work, with the horses, it's something you always dream about, but realize it's so far out there. It's a wonderful stretch goal, but you may not get there, but you're going to strive towards it anyhow. So with that as the analogy, what is your Triple Crown? What is that big goal that's sitting out there that has you fired up and to really stretch and try to run towards?
So being in an independent world, we can use all these different tools and resources to find new clients. And this, again, is what really gets me up in the morning and excited. So I think we've got a lot of work to do. Our partners at Dynasty are helping us do this, but I would love it if we can create a system through social media, LinkedIn, different sorts of marketing that I don't have to pick up the phone or send somebody a LinkedIn invitation manually to find that client. I would love it if, pick a number, 25, 50 clients came to us this year over the course of 12 months that I didn't have to reach out manually and find myself. So whether that leads to $25 million in new assets, 100, 150, 200, whatever it is, I want traction of inbound leads, quality people looking for quality advice and people that care for them. I think that would be a home run because it's not just going to happen once in 12 months. But I want to be able to replicate and do it again and again and again and not be a $1 billion team, but a 3 and a 4 and a 5 billion. So I think that organic growth is a huge goal for us.
Well, sticking with the analogy of racing, I would certainly bet on you. You are definitely a horse that I would bet on. So I really enjoyed this. Thank you very much for sitting down and having this conversation with us on Around the Track.
I appreciate it, Shirl. Thank you very much.
And thank you to all of you for tuning in again to another edition Around the Track. And before we sign off, a very quick plug. If you do not have a horse yet to follow on the Kentucky Derby Trail, please follow Elysian Meadows, who is owned by Team Penney Racing, and cheer for us and hopefully find our way to the Kentucky Derby. Thank you.